To be a Negro is to be stripped of your identity and given the mask of how they see you. It's always wondering, where does my lineage trace back? Where is my true descent? Only to find that wherever you go, you will always be stamped as a black thing, seen as less human, less deserving, less motivated, less spiritual, and let's not forget, less beautiful. My name is Joy. I'm an African American woman who grew up in Lithonia, Georgia. And for the past 6 months, I've explored the topic of hair within Black people's lives. I have traveled and conducted hair interviews in 3 different countries and in 5 major cities. In each city, I found that hair to many Black people held a similar significance. Hair across the African diaspora serves as a way of communication, expression, and resistance. In the birthplace of civilization, the Black people of Africa come from a rich history of kings and queens. Hair to Africans always held a cultural and social significance in African society. Whether it was to show one's marital status, hint at one's wealth, or signal a moment of grief, the styling of one's hair almost always had meaning. It held weight in their world. But once the colonizers arrived in Africa and launched the Atlantic slave trade, Black beauty was seen as a weapon to be dismantled, controlled, and denigrated. When African slaves boarded the white man's ships, they were made to shave their hair. This was forced upon slaves to strip them bare of who they were, to be made entirely new.
The process of shaving enslaved folks' heads was a practice of humiliation, degradation for Black people.
Allow me to introduce Dr. Nicole Jenkins, a visiting sociology professor at Harvard University, with a deep understanding of the experiences tied to natural hair.
When their enslavers first encountered them, they could see that they adorned their hair, right? Again, you could tell a person's class, you could tell, whether or not they were married, you can tell a lot of different things about a person based on their hair. This was a tool of humiliation, and it was meant to kind of strip a person of their identity, of their uniqueness.
To explore the power and legacy of Black hair, I wanted to start at the root, geographically speaking, Africa. Welcome to the beautiful city of Cape Town, South Africa, the very first country I visited after receiving my passport. Although I'm not sure what country my ancestors came from, being on the continent of Africa was enough for my spirit.
People doubt their beauty, but now when they recognize that, they're bouncing back. Yeah.
As I was hanging out in Blessing's hair salon in Cape Town, I met Gilbert from Cameroon. He shared that when white missionaries began to settle in Cameroon, his father and the generations before were made to cut their hair in order to get a job.
So my dad and the other generation had to cut their hair so that they can look soft to the white man's agenda. That's what I know from Cameroon in West Africa and my part, yeah.
For Gilbert, his hairstyle even today is an act of defiance.
No way. Like this style is like king's hairstyle because before the barber came, the kings and queens of Africa, they had the tradition of hairdo. So when the barber came, they had to like convince them to cut their hair, and because they were looking more, they were tend to be described like rebel when they had afro and braiding. Like I was in Zanzibar, and the Messiah, they had this one. So I had this.
That's dope.
Yeah. And the Messiah brothers were like, hey, why are you taking our style? I'm like, yeah, no, this is not your style. This is our style. It's just that. It was funny. It was in Zanzibar, man.
So you play around with your hair a lot?
Yeah. It's, yeah, I give myself part of the self-love, like, do what is conducive for my way of being, for my kind of man.
2 weeks. This is so beautiful. Our hair is just nice.
It is indeed.
They would force us to straighten our hair. No, Afro is the best. See, beautiful.
Meet Abigail, my hairstylist in South Africa. She is originally from Zimbabwe, where she used to be an English teacher. But after an economic collapse in her home country, she moved to South Africa for better opportunities.
The thing is, growing up, we were forced in school to relax hair or braids in certain ways, of which I didn't like. It's still happening. Some schools are like that. If you are going to leave it, it's supposed to be relaxed. And dreadlocks are totally prohibited when it comes to Zimbabwean schools. They don't allow your natural hair, your natural dreadlocks.
Zimbabwe is a country that for decades was colonized by the English, who forced Africans to abandon their natural hairstyles. Can I ask why you didn't want to perm your hair?
No, because I felt that I'm being forced to be like a white person, yet I'm black. And the schools that I learned, there was a lot of white kids who would be like only maybe 2 blacks in a classroom. It's just full of white people. So I feel that's why we were forced to look like them. So I cut my hair. Yeah, I always cut my hair because I didn't want to do the styles that were deemed to be done that time. It's not fair. That is not fair. It's so awful. Especially when you're here in South Africa and then you begin to compare that they have independence at least here. Because there I feel like we're still in the apartheid era. Because how can you still force a black girl not to wear her own hair? That's not fair. It's only here in South Africa where they are independent when it comes to their hair, because they allow any kind of hairstyle one wants. Because I see locks. People go to school with locks. Whatever hairstyle they have, they don't really care about it as long as you're presentable. Across the continent, all the other countries, apart from South Africa, they are the same. They don't allow our own Afro hair.
If Black people in most parts of Africa can't grow up to authentically be themselves, or more specifically, they can't grow their hair out the way it grows from their head, then where in the world are Black people able to freely exist? What about America? What if I came right here? Hi.
What's going on, Joy?
Broski.
Show.
Go on, we gotta talk. What are you talk about?
I don't know, man.
Talk about your hair story. This is my baby brother Noah. He is 21 years old. Growing up, my siblings and I attended a majority white private school. And similar to many Black men, in predominantly white spaces, the length and styling of Noah's hair has always been policed.
I really only got in touch with my hair a couple years ago. When I was growing up, my parents, didn't let me, they treated my hair like it was grass. I had to get cut every 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, like grass.
I didn't really have a chance to grow it out. Farthest used to get was, they used to call my hair taco meat. That's what you used to say. I used to have taco meat on my hair. And then I used to have long hair like everybody else in my class. And then when I got to middle school, I used to get in trouble a lot. So, like, my hair would get to a certain point, then I get in trouble. My dad would be like, yeah, we're cutting that shit off today. So, my hair story didn't start till about, a couple years ago. And when I started twisting, I realized, like, the power and the richness it was, like, have my hair twisted, have it long, go past my shoulders. And, yeah, it's my hair journey.
There's so many different ways to be black out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many different ways to be black. You feel me? And I feel like at the school that we went to, like, I feel like the administration tried their hardest to fit black kids in the box of what they thought black people should be. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even want to twist my hair up when I was younger. I always wanted a mohawk. Like, I just wanted hair. Like, we always used to get a skin fade, long top. Or Dano had the S curl, and Dad used to let Dano get the S curl in his hair, like a Jerry curl. But that's it. We couldn't do nothing else, and it was because we had to look presentable going around white people. And like hearing that, like it hurt because it's like you're trying to put a kid in a box. Like in high school, middle school, like when we go off to college, like if you've been put in a box for so long, we going off to college, that box open up. You lost.
After graduating high school, Noah was finally able to grow his hair out.
It's like having my hair now is like, bro, like being able to wake up in the morning and being able to just like rub through my stuff, like just feel it, like this is rich. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't like this is real rich. Like when I get in the when I get in the shower, and I put some, some shampoo, some conditioner, I shake it out, and get real curly. I got my grandma hair. My grandma Joyce hair. You feel me? It show out.
My brother has his relationship with his hair, and so do I. Faith and I are a year and 8 days apart. So growing up, to our parents, we were practically twins. Our mom didn't really know how to care for our hair, so she took us to the beauty salon every other Saturday to get our hair straightened. And in the summer, we wore braids. Throughout middle and high school, I always had 2 bundles of Brazilian hair intertwined with mine, while also maintaining a perm that chemically straightened and changed the natural texture of my hair. When I moved to New York for college, my hair was in bad shape, and I didn't really like the fact that the only time I felt beautiful was when I covered up my own hair. So I cut it. Yep, I cut my hair all off freshman year of college. It was a bold move, but I feel like since then, I've learned so much about myself and have come to love myself so much more. Now, I'm a proud natural girly. I can style my hair in so many ways and it never gets old. The best part is, it's mine. The very first time I got my hair braided, it happened in this shop. The same ladies who are to do my hair today have braided my hair since I was 2. During the process of getting my hair braided, which can take up to 6 to 8 hours, I spoke with another woman. who was also in the shop getting her locks retwisted. High school educator Callie Jones. She was not shy in opening up about her hair story.
When I was growing up, what was my attachment to my hair? I didn't like it very much because it wasn't what people said was the good hair. It was considered unprofessional to wear your own black hair. So if you had a job, you couldn't just wear your hair. Anything that had what we call black features, that was not good, that was bad. That's the hair, that's lips, that's eyes, that's nose, that's skin color, that's everything. And it was always something.
Callie says she has straightened her hair to get jobs.
And I won't lie, I teach in an area called Clayton County. Mm-hmm. When I got the job, I didn't have locks, but I did have natural hair, and I was too afraid to even wear my natural hair. Mm-hmm. I straightened my hair for the interview to get that job 15 years ago. Wow. Yes, I did. I straightened it out with a straightening comb so that I could, but the day after, I didn't care. You hired me now.
When we think about the process of socialization, it is a process that happens at birth and does not end until a person dies. So you are being socialized throughout your whole life. And if every experience that you have around your hair is a negative one, or if the majority of them are, right, these are likely folks who have a negative relationship with their hair.
I feel like as a mixed race woman, I find my hair a really special but also a really difficult part of my identity because I always worry if I have my hair one way, am I conforming to a certain part of myself and neglecting another side of that?
This is Luch, one of my best friends from college. She's from Bath, England, and when I asked about her relationship to her black hair, she talked about her own struggles from the perspective of living in London.
The worst experience I can think of was I did my master's degree and I had a pretty awful time there, to be honest, and we were doing a show which was set in the 1920s. And I saw the musical and it just felt like a very white musical. I was like, I can't see myself in this. And there were all of these diagrams of everyone's hair. And my hair wasn't represented, in the diagrams of my costume, my hair was sort of blurred out. There was 4 or 5 of us girls that went and had our hair appointment. And I remember thinking it was really strange because all 3 of the other girls, all of my colleagues were white, that's important to mention. All 3 of them started getting their hair done and I was sat on the sofa, reading my book. And then 45 minutes passed and my hair still wasn't being done. And it was supposed to be that we were all getting our hair done. I felt, I felt anxiety. I was I know this is something to do with my hair. My hair's not represented here. There were 2 hairstylists behind me and they were whispering to each other. And they were they had this tiny comb that they hadn't detangled my hair at all or anything. They had this little comb that obviously wasn't going to do anything. And they were brushing out my curls with this comb, really tugging at my head and whispering to each other. And they were I don't know what to do with this hair. This hair's too frizzy, it's too messy. I can't do this hair. And they went, people didn't have hair like this in the 1920s. I remember my heart, dropped. And, sorry, I haven't thought about this for ages. All 3 of my white colleagues said nothing. And that was what stung the most. That I was alone in this situation, and I said, well, people did have hair. I remember saying, I said specifically, because someone had to stick up for me, so I remember saying specifically, well, people did have hair like that in the 1920s, because if you're saying they didn't, you're saying black people didn't exist.
Luch was right. Our hair has always been around. In fact, black hair was the prototype. Researchers believe that the first humans who originated from Africa had tight curled hair to help regulate the body's temperature from overheating.
I think hair should be empowering, but I think I've been through stages in my life where my hair has felt empowering to me, but I think actually it's sad. I do think that in a lot of like my life experience that's been taken away from me.
Black children are experiencing natural hair discrimination as early as 5 years old. And if in childhood we are experiencing these traumatic events around our hair, you know, that does a lot for shaping our identity.
The Tignon Law, enacted in 1786 in the state of Louisiana, required women of color, both free and enslaved, to wrap their hair in a scarf, formerly known as a tignon. During that time, free Black women increasingly became attractive to white men because of their distinctive and elaborate hairstyles. The Spanish governor, Esteban Rodriguez Miro, passed the Tignon Law with the intentions of distinguishing a Black woman's position within the social hierarchy, a slave and nothing more. The scarves were made to conceal the beauty of Black women. In response, Black women wore the scarves, wide-ranging in colors, patterns, jewels, and frequently changed how they styled them.
Pictures of the exact style she had.
In the United States, many Black people who do not conform to Western beauty standards have faced discrimination in the workplace.
They said that it was unprofessional, it was club hair, and that my hair is unkept.
Been excluded
to
from
avoid
sporting
forfeit
events,
after a referee apparently enforced existing hair rules.
and even been suspended from school.
Houston, Texas, hair has defined his junior year of high school.
Being without my hair is like cutting me from my people, not letting me, express myself how I feel I should be.
In 2019, the state of California introduced the Crown Act, creating a respectful and open world for natural hair, which is a law that prohibits discrimination based on hair texture and hairstyles that is specific to one's race or national origin. 24 other states have followed California's initiative in passing the Crown Act.
Natural hair discrimination is absolutely relevant in 2025, not only because of the Crown Act, right? We still have states that remain unprotected by the Crown Act. We still have individuals who remain unprotected by the Crown Act in states where the Crown Act is law. So it is very relevant. Folks who celebrate natural hair are looking to get back to that place, right, where we are able to adorn our hair and celebrate our hair. There's a long history of, a beautiful celebration. There's a disruption of that. And then I think now we are getting back to a place where we are wanting to celebrate that again. Of course, not without hindrance, right? Not without challenge, and even necessary strategy.
Guys, can I give you a hug? After 8 hours of talking to new sisters and catching up with old ones, my hair was finally finished.
Send us picture, okay? Joy, send us picture.
I got you. I'm gonna send it to you.
Or video.
So where's my hug, the brother?
I got you. Thank you, Amy. This is always the hardest part. Leaving home, leaving behind the people who see me fully. But it's time for me to return back to Brooklyn.
So every artist has an inspiration, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's yours? Do you have one?
I think the earth is my inspiration. I think nature. I think God or the universe, or whoever you believe in, is my inspiration for sure.
This is Amber Nicole, a creative natural hairstylist based in Brooklyn, New York, and Gainesville, Florida. With her gifted hands, her magic touch has made it to Broadway, as she was a lead braider for the Tony Award-winning play, Jaja's African Hair Braiding.
That was a big deal. Like, okay, well, this lady is taking me to Broadway, and she's like, I want your help, and we're doing this braid show. we're doing this show, and it's about braids. It's about a day in a braid shop, and it's representing Black women. And of course, I'm like a kid in the candy store. Like, it's like a show, theater about what I do. Like, that's crazy. Like, that was just like, you know, like almost surreal to even be asked that. It was like, wow, like this is like right on the money. Like, if I could do anything, like this makes sense.
But Amber's passion for hair care started way before her debut in theater.
As I like got into hair, I noticed like how many Black women in particular kind of were going through the same thing as me, where like they just weren't confident wearing their hair. And then I realized like this is actually a problem. Like, this is actually, it's sad that this is normal, you know, like where most, I don't want to say most, but at least from where I was coming from, there weren't many Black women like being like, hey, yeah, I just want my hair twisted. Or I just want like, you know, get a wash, just refresh my curls, get me a trim, just some hair care today. Like, every time it had to be like, I need to get my hair, I need these extensions, I need this whatever put in my hair. And it was like, hold on, you don't like your hair out? You don't want to wear it? And it's like, nah, like, we deserve love, we deserve to be loved, and that love starts with ourselves, you know?
Throughout her career, Amber became increasingly aware of the lack of education taught on how to style Black hair in cosmetology school. She shares that far too many Black stylists don't even know how to style Black hair.
It's not their fault. You know, it's just more so like what they're being taught. And then when you get into the industries, the Eurocentric beauty standard is being pushed so hard that even our women are conforming to those standards that are in those professional spaces. Not all, but like a lot of that is just that, because that's just what the norm is.
Eurocentric beauty standards are just the centering of whiteness, right? So Eurocentric beauty standards are anything from light skin, you know, to long, straight hair. They're very real because a lot of the representation in media centers around Eurocentric beauty standards.
Those things, those special occasions, graduations, weddings, like, why is it that we think that we have to straighten our hair for that? No. Like, I got a sew-in for my graduation. Why? I never, my entire time being in high school, I wore my hair in twists and I never, not once had a sew-in, but all of a sudden I'm going to prom and I'm graduating and I got to straighten my hair. Like, what? Like, that is crazy.
Chemical treatments such as perms, relaxers, and straighteners are commonly used to alter hair texture. They have been linked to a range of serious health concerns, including hormonal imbalances, respiratory issues, and even an increased risk of certain cancers.
First of all, I absolutely hate the chemicals. I don't work with chemicals. I refuse to work with chemicals. I think there's so many other ways that you can get to where you need to go without chemically processing your hair. Those products are not made for us. They're just not. Right now, you see all kinds of lawsuits and stuff going on for people who have perms because of skin cancer and brain tumors and all kinds of crazy stuff because they chose to put those chemicals in their hair. But I don't know, I'm not for them. I'm just not.
Amber believes that wearing your natural hair is more than a style. It's self-love in action.
It's been so stripped away from us that I think it just kind of like takes us away from our original identity, you know? I think that in order to truly love yourself, you have to be able to accept yourself in all forms. And I think that like subconsciously and over time, like we're now at a place where like our natural form just isn't the most preferred, or it's not the most, you know, appreciated, but that goes back to self-love. If you cannot look at yourself with your natural kinks and curls, the way the hair grows out of your head, and not see yourself as beautiful or see yourself as undone, then that's a problem. Like, you don't genuinely just like love the way you are.
Black hair is not just hair. It's a story that survived. It's an answer to my enduring question: who am I? The pattern of each cornrow, the freeform of each lock, is a whisper from my ancestors that speak of strength, resilience, and self-love. It is a crown I wear not for adornment, but for remembrance, a testament to survival, a declaration of self. In every strand I find my roots, In every curl, I discovered who I was, who I am, and who I will always be.